His marriage, even his life. Blind Ambition, starting Sunday, May 20th.
This is CBS.
If you're ready to build a new house, you know you'll need construction financing. The Superbank knows it too, and we're ready to help you get started. All you need is to have a qualified, bondable home builder and your permanent home financing agreement in hand. Then come talk to us. The Calcasieu Marine provided over $25 million in construction financing to area contractors last year. We loan more money than any other bank in Southwest Louisiana, and we have money to loan you from the Superbank, the Calcasieu Marine National Bank.
You're witnessing a case from the files of Blue Cross of Louisiana. Our member, calling Charles, was admitted to a hospital for emergency surgery and extensive complications. Fortunately, Charles had Blue Cross 65, in addition to his good Medicare coverage. For Charles, Blue Cross paid $2,446, which was not covered by Medicare. Charles' son told us, "Dad's Blue Cross meant a lot to me. You see, he doesn't have a large retirement income." Blue Cross, protection.
Snoopy decides to go back to his first owner, a lonely and sick little girl. And it doesn't take long for the Peanuts gang to realize how much they miss him. Snoopy Come Home, tonight at 7 on 10.
KLFY Television, Lafayette. The Eyewitness News 6 o'clock report. With the people you can count on.
Good evening, everybody. Oil production in South Louisiana is down by more than 100,000 barrels a day. The drop is due to a growing number of inactive rigs, 60 this year as compared to only 4 last year. Statistics compiled by BR Drilling Records of Lafayette also show only 5 more working structures this year, with the total number set at 404. Producers are blaming the drop in production from everything from bad weather to governmental red tape, but many say it's simply getting harder and harder to find the stuff.
In tonight's commentary, Jim has some thoughts on rising crime rates in this country that have begun to hit close to home.
Let's go back in time to read a few actual sample headlines of the day to determine, for the sake of this commentary, how violence used to be commonplace. 2 local men killed in gunfight. Off-duty police officer kills would-be general store robber. Young man clubs 11-year-old boy to death. Shotgun-wielding man is killed by a peace officer in a withering exchange of gunfire. How far back in time did we go for our actual news headlines of the day? 100 years back to the days of the Wild West, one day in the life of Dodge City? Guess again. We went back in time a total of 3 days. Not to Dodge, but to New Orleans last Saturday. If there is a similarity between the then and the now, it certainly is no compliment to the progress we've made in our criminal justice system in the 100 years in between. How bad is it today? So bad that some people think they're on the verge of having to lock themselves up for protection against the criminal element which is being allowed to roam free. So bad that now the governor wants to spend state dollars on the problems the city of New Orleans is having with crime. And before you gloat a little bit and say that's their problem, you might want to consider this: our crimes, our violent crimes, many of them, maybe the majority of them, are being committed by people who are repeaters. That means they're being arrested and released, unrehabilitated, and in large measure, unpunished.
Jim mentioned in his commentary that the governor has a plan to stem the rising tide of crime in New Orleans. Blue Rolfus has a report from Baton Rouge.
During his announcement of the Special Crime Fighting Team, Governor Edwards said that although the unit would be based solely in New Orleans, state funds would be used for the creation and maintenance of the police force.
Therefore, in conjunction with the New Orleans legislators, I'm going to join with them in providing a fund arbitrarily of $500,000 and have instructed the Superintendent of State Police to begin a training program to hire and train some 40 to 50 additional state troopers who would not serve in a traditional state policeman's role, but actually would be specially trained to work with neighborhoods, the city policemen in New Orleans, and others to try to stop the rise in crime rate in violent crimes.
Governor Edwards stressed that the creation of the special force is not intended as a criticism of the New Orleans Police Department, but rather as an aid to their efforts. Recruiting of prospective members of the force will begin as soon as the legislature grants funding for the project. Blue Rolfes, Channel 10 Eyewitness News in Baton Rouge.
Closer to home this evening, the Lafayette Firefighters Union today predicted that a state supplemental pay increase for police and firemen will result in a cut in the city's portion of an officer's pay. That official statement came despite the city administration's insistence to the contrary. Becky Strickland has more.
Concern among police and fire officers that city paychecks will be cut if state supplemental pay is increased has prompted Lafayette Representative Luc LeBlanc to propose legislation prohibiting such action. The officers based their fear on the fact that the city cuts its portion of an officer's salary at the end of his first year of service when he begins receiving state supplemental pay. The administration contends that the city advances supplemental pay to keep officers in line with the city pay plan, and the administration insists that city paychecks won't be cut if state supplemental pay is increased. The Firefighters Union president says the issue is another example of unjust policy of the Lafayette City Administration, which continues to contribute to high turnover rates in the police and fire departments. Becky Strickland, Channel 10 Eyewitness News in downtown Lafayette.
A couple of gubernatorial candidates have a couple of education plans this year. That story and more when we return.
I hate roaches. But now I've got something that helps me get rid of roaches for a long time. Raid Roach Tape. It works continuously. No messy spraying. The insecticide's in the tape. You don't even have to empty cabinets first because the tapes are clean and dry.
Just put them wherever roaches run. And when you're done, so are roaches.
For a long time. Raid Roach Tape kills roaches dead for a long time.
Now through May 19th, save $20 on Western Auto's most popular power-propelled mower. Its 3.5 horsepower engine delivers the power to the front-wheel drive. All you do is guide it. Carves a wide 22-inch cut. Now only $159.99. And during Western Auto's 1 cent sale, buy the 60-foot nylon reinforced all-weather garden hose for just $14.99. Get this sprinkler for 1 cent. Only at Western Auto.
We'll be good to you.
A new kitchen with built-in ovens and cooktops by Magic Chef will add to the value and beauty of your home.
See Magic Chef at Southern Tire and Appliances, Crowley.
Senator Edgar Mouton of Lafayette today announced a plan that he says is designed to bring immediate improvements to public education here in the state. At a news conference in Baton Rouge, Senator Mouton revealed a number of proposals designed to upgrade the classroom performance of both the teachers and the students.
Tend to work towards supplying guidance counselors in the elementary level of all public schools. I intend to establish an intern training program for those in the administrative level of education, especially in those who would be principals, to give leadership and guidance there. I'll work towards the reduction of teacher-pupil ratio from 1 to 20 from K to 3, and 1 to 25 from 4 to 7 in the formative years.
And almost at the same time that was going on, gubernatorial candidate Bubba Henry held a news conference of a similar nature here in Lafayette, outlining the details of what he calls his Right to Learn program, a legislative proposal he says will create a professional practices commission composed of 12 educators appointed by the superintendent of education.
They would also be charged with the responsibility of developing or devising a code of ethics for classroom teachers and supervisors. This is actually a three-pronged piece of legislation. Number one, it creates and gives classroom teachers and supervisors the wherewithal to set their own standards and their own codes of conduct. It treats education for the first time in this state as a profession, as it should be treated. It will help us, hopefully, to rid the classrooms of incompetent teachers that do exist in this state. and I think it gives an abundance of protection to the classroom teacher.
Another Acadiana lounge was destroyed by fire early this morning. According to a state fire marshal, the Happy Landing Club near Leonville was discovered burning at about 4:30 this morning. Estimated damages to the building and the contents have been set at about $50,000. The cause of the fire not yet been determined. An investigation is being conducted by the fire marshal's office. No one was in the lounge at the time, and the fire marshal spokesman told Eyewitness News the lounge blaze could possibly have been the work of an arsonist. We're going to continue with the 6 o'clock report right after this pause.
Acadian Toyota in Lafayette has busted all sales records. Hello, I'm Vance Lanier, and we've just sold our 100-day allotment of Toyota cars and trucks, and we did it in just 70 days. As a result of selling our quota, Doc Lanier has won his trip to Japan, and he's celebrating by pulling the price plug on most models. Better prices and savings have been extended now through May 31st. You want to save? Then come see Acadiana's oldest and largest Toyota dealer, Acadian Toyota, 5001 Johnson Street, Lafayette.
Welcome to the beautiful world of steel case office furniture from Executive Office Furniture Incorporated, Cajun Office Supply. Steel case designs in wood, the most luxurious wood series from Steel Case. Beneath these handsome exteriors is a solid steel framework. Steel Case offers a wide range of hidden values, including unique wiring and central locking capabilities. Call Carol Fuselier for Steel Case designs in wood from Executive Office Furniture Incorporated, Cajun Office Supply in Lafayette.
A whole smoked picnic makes a delicious main course, no matter what the occasion. Winn-Dixie has 6 to 8 pound picnics for a low 69 cents a pound.
Then buy Velva bread. 20-ounce loaves are now 3 for just $1.
Shop Winn-Dixie for Harvest Fresh California strawberries, too. 3 pints are $1.49.
And save while Thrifty made pink or white grapefruit juice in 46-ounce cans is 2 for only $1.
Plus, get top value stamps with your purchases when you shop Winn-Dixie.
Did you know that the regular passbook savings at Home Savings and Loan is the most profitable in its entire 70-year history? It is. You earn 5.25% dividends. Dividends are compounded daily and paid quarterly. You earn from date of deposit to date of withdrawal, and your money is always available. If you prefer savings certificates with a minimum of $1,000, you can earn from 6.5% to 8% depending upon maturity date. Home Savings and Loan, Lafayette.
A Lafayette fireman is suing the city of Lafayette for its claim that he owes it some $2,200. Erland Miller was accidentally overpaid by the city $200 a month for 6 months. He notified officials, but the overpayments continued for 6 more months. The police and the Fire Civil Service Board recently decided that Miller should not have to pay back all of the money, but the court ruled that the board did not even have jurisdiction in the case. So Miller's attorney told Eyewitness News today that he's going to let the courts determine the outcome.
A number of groups supporting the passage of the Equal Rights Amendment held a joint news conference over in Baton Rouge today. Speakers at the conference emphasized their belief that passage of the ERA is in no way connected with the abortion issue. Fran Busey of ERA United explained that many of the people involved in the ERA movement are opposed to abortion.
Presently, abortion is authorized by a 1974 Supreme Court decision based on the right to privacy. Since there is presently not an Equal Rights Amendment in the U.S. Constitution, the Supreme Court could have hardly used it as a basis of their decision. The Equal Rights Amendment will only affect governmental actions and will not enter into private relationships or matters. It will ensure that sex not be a factor in determining legal rights or protection of men and women.
The Lafayette barbecue shop closed its doors today after some 33 years of business. Ed Marshall has that story.
In this fast-paced world of ever-popular fast foods, which range from chicken houses to hamburger shops and the available drive-through windows, places such as Smokey's Barbecue off the Evangeline Thruway are hard to find. For 33 years, Smokey's has been the place for a number of customers that wanted old-fashioned barbecue flavor, as well as a chance to catch up on the latest news and hear the owner, George Patan, tell jokes. But today was the last day these customers will eat at Smokey's Barbecue because George and his wife Enola are closing down.
My wife and I think it's time now to get out. We're kind of getting up in that age a little bit, so we think it's time to retire now.
The jokes told here at Smokey's were as talked about as his barbecue.
We serve soup in here, you know, and Dud Lestrap was in here, and he called me, he said, George, come over here. He said, what's this fly doing in my soup? I said, I'll tell you what, you got too much soup. He shouldn't be swimming in there, he should be wading.
Why have you been a regular customer here at Smokey's?
Well, Ed, I tell you what, it's about the only place in town I know of where you can come, pay, and get insulted besides.
No other place you can get a good supply of corny jokes, but this is like an institution that's leaving the scene.
People have traveled from as far as Houston and New Orleans to Lafayette just to eat and hear the old jokes told by George Smokey Patan at his barbecue shop. Ed Marshall, Channel 10 Eyewitness News, Lafayette.
Supposed to be waiting. Smokey, the jokes haven't changed. Okay, there's a look at our local news. Dick Perot is standing by there and shaking his head in disbelief. Say goodbye to Smokey. He'll be back in a minute.
This is LBA's South Side branch.